Qlik has taken a significant step by introducing capacity pricing for their cloud services. Today, I'm delighted to introduce our Customer Success Manager, Stuart Wonnell.
Good morning.
Who's here to shed more light on this topic. Firstly, for those who might be unfamiliar, could you elaborate on what capacity-based pricing is and why there's a shift in the industry, Qlik included?
Capacity-based pricing is a model where the cost is determined by the amount of data a business processes or stores on the Qlik platform. Traditionally, many platforms charge based on user counts, but as businesses evolved, so have the data needs, and so has the industry as a whole. The volume and intensity of data use often represent a much clearer snapshot of how integral a BI platform is to a company's operations. That's why Qlik and companies like it are transitioning and offering this to customers. It potentially offers a more equitable, scalable, and transparent looking pricing structure.
And for the sake of simple explanation,
imagine you're paying for petrol in your car. Instead of being charged by the number of passengers in your vehicle, you're charged by the amount of petrol you use. As simple as that. The more data or the more fuel you consume, the more you pay. So for me, it's a much more direct reflection of use and value compared to user count pricing.
As businesses adjust, how should they approach their budgeting, considering the potential unpredictable nature of the data use?
Capacity-based pricing does introduce a level of variability. However, businesses can leverage this to their advantage. First of all, they should familiarise themselves with the historical data trends. Are there any particular periods of high data use? What causes those spikes? And by understanding these patterns, they can better anticipate their future needs. Regular reviews, we would definitely recommend, perhaps quarterly. In fact, I would say they're essential. And of course, always maintain a buffer for unexpected data requirements. If budgeting sounds daunting, Differentia Consulting do have a number of tools and offer expertise to help you navigate some of these waters with precision.
Now, with one potential concern I've come across, could the new pricing model deter businesses from diving deep into their data due to a fear of escalating costs?
Just like you might be cautious with a car journey if petrol prices soar, this is where strategy becomes absolutely paramount for the businesses. Businesses should not deter from deep data dives, but they should be more intentional and focused in their projects. After all, it's crucial to understand the potential cost implications of any project beforehand. Segmenting perhaps larger data analysis projects into phases or strategically choosing which data sets to analyse, this approach can offer both depth and cost efficiency. It also makes businesses think twice about understanding the actual value a BI project is going to derive to the business. With a user-based pricing system, this is a little bit more difficult and it doesn't always encourage best practice planning. When you really think about it, encouraging a business to stop and think about the value their next analytics initiative is going to bring, it helps the businesses just become more focused, which is a great thing. And it leads to less wasted time on what we call boondoggle projects, investing time in projects that lack any distinct focus and purpose, and they're ultimately wasteful, even though they give the appearance of being productive or beneficial from the outside.
So the transition itself sounds intricate. Shifting from a user-centric mindset to a capacity-focused one must have challenges.
Any significant transition does require a mindset shift. This is absolutely no exception. Communication is key. Stakeholders from top management to daily platform users should all understand the reasoning and benefits behind these changes. Workshops, training sessions, and even getting internal marketing involved can help drive home the advantages. It's also worth running potentially a pilot phase, testing the new model in a controlled environment before a full-scale rollout. Bringing on board experts like team at Differentia Consulting, we can provide guidance ensuring any future transition is both smooth and well received.
How can businesses ensure they're gauging their data needs accurately to prevent overpaying or experiencing shortfalls?
Let's go back to the car and the fuel analogy again. The challenge of precision is much like ensuring your car has just the right amount of fuel to get you through your journeys without ever running dry or overfilling your tank. Initially, what we would recommend is that businesses opt for a conservative estimate at first. So that's akin to filling up your car's petrol tank for your daily commute based on past consumption. You wouldn't immediately fill it up for a long journey without planning the trip first. Similarly, start with an estimate based on past data usage. From there, it then becomes that continuous cycle of monitoring, adjusting and refining. Just as a car's dashboard provides real-time data on petrol consumption, Qlik also has the tools built in that give the business clear analytics on data consumption. Regular check-ins, quarterly or monthly, they can be compared to these routine stops at petrol stations, for example. You can ensure you're on track and you can refill your data as needed. Ultimately, collaboration is the cornerstone here. Imagine your business is the family car. Everyone must communicate their plans to ensure there's enough petrol for everyone's trips. In a business context, different departments should communicate their anticipated data needs, ensuring their organisation remains on track without any unexpected data shortages or, even worse, overflows.
For clarity, could you briefly summarise both the advantages and the disadvantages of capacity-based pricing?
So we'll start with the advantages of capacity-based pricing in our view. First thing it does give a business is scalability. It will allow a business to grow without the constant renegotiations or upgrades based on pure user numbers. The whole capacity model is also based on fair pricing, very much like your mobile phone contract. You pay for how much data you use. Businesses pay for the actual value they extract based on that usage metric, not for the amount of users that choose to access Qlik. In the user-based model, you can sometimes have 100, 200, 300 users, and a lot of those users are hardly even using any of the dashboards. It just becomes a lot easier to measure that value that you're getting with capacity pricing. It also gives you that flexibility, so companies can add more data without worrying about any additional user licenses in a much more transparent way now. And the most important thing, not immediately obvious or as tangible, but it encourages that move to what we all talk about, the data-driven culture. So there's no need to limit who has access to the platform based on user costs and high prices for per user pricing. And that really helps drive the business and set it on a good forward footing for growth. I wouldn't say they are disadvantages, but there's certainly things to watch out for. The first thing about it is it does introduce a certain element of predictability or unpredictability. So costs can vary if data use does spike unexpectedly. So it's important to budget for that properly. When we're talking about budgeting, it does require a more dynamic approach. So given the variability in data usage, there is a risk of overconsumption and underuse as well. You could be paying too much and you don't need all that data. So without monitoring, that is a real risk. The point stands, you monitor your data usage on a monthly, perhaps even weekly basis, and near real time if you need. It just ensures that you don't either undercook or overshoot your budget.
Compared to user-based pricing, how can a business determine if the capacity pricing model is the right choice for them?
Comparing that to user-based pricing, the capacity offers just a bit more cost predictability. The user-based pricing doesn't align with actual value a business derives from any analytics platform. Businesses should be assessing their data consumption patterns and the growth projections. If they find that the user count is stable, but data consumption is growing or highly variable, capacity pricing might offer better value, especially if they have a large number of users. So furthermore, almost every business I talk to talks about their desire to become data-driven. The only way to do that is to give data access across their organization. This could be hugely expensive on a user-based model. It could incur some eye-watering per user costs. Capacity pricing, ultimately, when you look at it that way, becomes the key to unlocking that door of democratizing data and becoming a data-driven organization.
It's been such an insightful discussion today. Capacity-based pricing, with its nuances, certainly seems like the future.
Adapting to change is integral in the ever-evolving analytics landscape. Remember, it's not just about understanding the change, but leveraging it and preparing for growth.
Subscribe for more Smarter BI content or contact us at info@differentia.consulting so we can tailor Smarter BI solutions to your specific requirements. Thanks for watching and stay smart.